There we go.
Oh, it says it started. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I'm
So
so nervous.
no, you're great. It was the same thing. We're talking about giving out food and stuff. So yeah, I think you're doing pretty well.
Well,
Good job.
thanks.
So as a chef, I have a very important question for you.
All
If
right.
you could be any vacation spot, what would you be?
If I would be a vacation spot, I would love to be an island.
Ooh, like
Yes.
like a Hawaii kind of island or like tropical?
Like, yes, but just lost in the middle of nowhere with like no phone service and very limited access to, and like more more of a like without a established industry where
Mm,
it's pretty much a virgin place where you can camp. There's no cannibals. Um,
cannibal.
and you have access to produce and to proteins without having to kill your animals, but everything is like rusted. You have to figure stuff out. I would just love that. Or like if you need to disconnect and just disconnect from your phone and technology to connect with like the world, the nature, the yourself and the people you're with. Like I think that would be awesome.
Okay, I like that answer. Very
Oh,
nice. I've been asking guests lately and they all have different answers. So that's really cool to hear. So from that, I can gather that your life is a little hectic and you feel sometimes like maybe you want to disconnect.
always. I don't get to have that luxury. I thought I would recently. I closed out one of my businesses. Well, I announced it on Monday, pretty much closed. Yes. I stopped operations. I moved up yesterday and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take this week to mentally reset, prepare for the next projects, and get to read my Britney Spears book that I got a week ago. And I have not had a single moment to read.
Mhm.
I've had it for a week and I've only read like 26 pages, which I hate. I thought I could do it this week and I can't. Like, I just have so much going on still.
What do you have going on? If so, I mean, obviously, yeah, I would think the same. Okay, I closed one of my businesses. I should have more time. What's taken up that time now that that business was?
Well, see, the time frame was shortened. I had decided to close. I mean, I knew I had to a bit ago. I just was reluctant to do it.
Mm,
That's something I work a lot on myself with my therapist. I am very, very competitive and I demand a lot of myself.
okay.
And to me, closing, even if it was to pursue a better opportunity, it's like, man, but I'm closing. Like I could not handle this. I'm failing.
Mm,
So I fear of failure a lot. And I like pushed it back longer than I should have because I was trying to process that, you know, I didn't fail. I just decided to pursue a bigger dream. And that was taking more of the time that I needed to invest
mhm.
into the different projects that are coming up. So, well, I have to give up on something to pursue success. It was not easy though.
Oh yeah.
So doing that, I thought, well, that's it. And of course, a lot of people reached out and, hey, what's going on? And I realized, well, I'm going out of town this week. So I do have to make travel arrangements that I had not made. I got, yes, for the new projects, I'm already having calls that I scheduled. And I'm like, yes, I have time. Yeah, I have plenty of time. And today I had this networking, and one of my friends was like, hey, um, I know that you just closed the bar, but like, well, the restaurant at the bar, but can you still like cater? And I'm like, well, we have a catering company, so we can do that. When do you need it? Like tonight? And I
Ah,
was like, I got you. I got you.
oh my gosh, so you're doing it. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm catering tonight for 20 people for my friend Omar. Um, he's like my brother, and I like deeply admire him. And he's doing this like great project that, of course, I have to support. I know that he would do the same for me if I needed like a last minute haircut for anything. He has a barbershop. Don't know if he does women's hair, but he has someone that will do it. Probably he would help me out if I needed to.
I love that. Oh, that's so cool. Man, well, good luck. I won't
Thanks.
be too long then. So we kind of went into it, but if you don't mind me asking, so like, who are you? Like a 1 minute intro, if you want to be quick
We
about it.
talked about no introductions.
Oh, sorry, no
It's
introductions.
all right. It's all right. Well, I'm Gabriela. Gosh, I live in Denton, Texas. I was born and raised in Mexico in the Yucatan Peninsula. Merida, it's the capital. I think the mic is like covering me a lot, right?
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, and my degree is actually in nutrition.
Ooh.
I'm a licensed nutritionist. Yeah, but I just happen to love food. So I dove into the restaurant industry. So I'm a chef slash restaurateur. I wear many hats. I do consulting, corporate consulting for multi-million dollar companies. And I just recently dove into real estate as well. Um, Flirting with multifamily developments. Yeah, so that's me. I love to work with nonprofits. I support pretty much every nonprofit in my city. Um, I live, love, and die for my family that they're all in Mexico and now Denton. It's a very fun college town with a huge sense of community, and they took me in as no one ever did. Like, I've lived in 4 different countries, and no one has accepted me like they did. So I feel blessed to be able to give back through my businesses. So I try to be involved in everything that's going on with the community and just support in every way I can. I have small businesses, and that's how we succeed because of them. They're my customers, they're my clients, you know, they need me, I need them. And it's just wonderful being able to not just give and take, but
Mhm.
also to connect, to be a part of great things, to invest in my community. Here in Texas, the sales tax is 8.25%. So I know that of all the money I make here, 8.25% goes back to my city, to the ISD, to improvements, to anything that the city needs. So the more I make, the more I give, and the more I also provide to nonprofits and everyone else going on. So yeah, I have fun here. I love it.
That's so beautiful. Oh my gosh, I love that. I didn't know how much of a giver you were.
I,
That's
you
so
cannot take if you don't give. That's my motto.
exactly. I'm actually reading the book Think and Grow Rich. Have you read that one yet?
It's on my list, actually.
Yes. So I have such a long list. It's a little overwhelming. But somebody also sent me the Spotify like audiobook, so I'll send that to you as well, just in case.
Ooh, thanks. Yes, that would be great.
So in the book, it had talked about like within the first chapter, which I appreciate, it was talking about like you need to be specific with your goal. So it was like um, write a clear and concise statement of, and since it's Think and Grow Rich, it's right now it's money focused. So it's like how much money specifically do you want to make, by when, what are you going to give back in return for getting that money, and then I think like what's the action plan to actually like make that happen. But I loved that he put that what are you going to give in return for it, like that was just of course.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, it's the law of reciprocity. Like you need to, I think a lot of people underestimate how fulfilling charity can be.
Yes,
Whether the monetary giving, I guess, or you're actually doing something for other people. What are some of the nonprofits that you support in your area?
Um, one, well, I'll leave this one for last because that's the funniest. One of them is called DMAC. They support artists. Denton is very big in arts, and they help local artists, freelancers to get insurance at an affordable cost. The Denton Festival Foundation, they also are a channel that supports local artists, specifically in the music industry. They do this huge festival that's called the Arts and Jazz. It's the biggest free festival in Texas. Given Grace, I'm currently working very, very, very close with them, and I'm very excited. They help people in homelessness. They have this like huge project going on where they're building this like mini village for people that lose their homes, for families, so they can, re involve in homing and community and move on, knowing that they have at least a ceiling to live in. We are currently trying to raise $2.9 million to make this happen. So that is a challenge that I have right now. The campus theater, also related to arts, they do the Beaujolais Festival next month. It's a wine and food festival, and we are sponsors of it. Kiwanis, who else do I work with? Well, I'm just going to throw in some names. United Way of Denton County. That is, I think, my favorite one right now. They help other nonprofits as well. They focus on helping veterans, children and families, mental health, women that have been abused. And they have this huge fundraiser every year that is Dancing with the Stars. So I am dancing this year.
Yes.
Yes. I'm dancing and I'm super excited because every dollar is a vote, and we have to raise votes, and we get to pick a cause to send that money to. So that is very excited. I am thrilled. I'm like working so hard, like training and rehearsing and doing all these things nonstop so I can raise a lot of money for the kids. I picked children and families as the cause I'm dancing for. And yeah, I love that. And then I'm part of another nonprofit. I'm a member of Denton Benefit League. It's a women's group that is focused in raising money to give grants to other nonprofits. So that is super fun as well.
Other nonprofits nationwide or in Texas?
In the area. They focus in local mostly, but there's, North Texas area mostly. So that is great. Last year, we raised $183,000 that were given to 38 nonprofits, I think. This year, we're aiming for 200,000, and we do different events during the year and balls. We have a sip and shop coming up. We have, so many things. Our Daily Bread is a homeless shelter, and they provide shelter and food, 3 meals a day for people in need. So I do a lot of in-kind donations to them. Volunteer service with love packs. They bring food to kids and families that don't have access to it. I go quite often to the community pantries and fill them up with some stuff. I hand out food. I have my homeless crowd, which they know me. They know that when they see me, they're going to get food. So yeah, that's a bit of what I do.
Man, that's a lot of nonprofits. I thought you were gonna say like 3. That was a lot.
I think there's a few more. I just cannot name them right now.
Oh my gosh, man, that's amazing. How do you have time for this?
You see the side bags. You don't see the wrinkles because I do have some Botox to look fresh, so I can keep up doing that and not age like 10 years faster than I should.
Gosh. Are you the type of person? So I'm trying to be more organized. I like to try to write down my days, or at least write down the tasks that I have to do. My mom used to have a planner, so she was very organized, and now she's very much not. Are you the type of person to have a planner, or are you just, oh my gosh, I remember I have to do this. Let me do this. Let me do this.
I have my calendar. Like my Google Calendar is my best friend.
Hmm.
If it's in my calendar, I know that it will happen. So I make sure that everything gets in my calendar. If it's not, then it's not going to happen, unless it's an emergency, of course. But yeah, I time everything. I block hours to spend time with my cat. I just got a Bengal cat. Her name is Bertha, and she's my true love. So I do block hours to spend with her,
Hmm.
and that's like, it's mama and baby time. Or if I don't have time to blog, I make sure that some of my meetings that I have, for example, I have one today, that the office is pet friendly. So she can come with me. And she's so well behaved. So I do that. I do manage my calendar, I think, fairly decently. Um, I cannot keep things, like, I cannot keep a physical uh, or planner because I'm super ADHD and I am not under medication. So I leave it everywhere. Like I lose it all the time. I know that if I lose my phone, I say, Alexa, find my phone, and she will. So until I get a planner that can do that, I'm not going to use one.
That's funny. I know that some people have like little magnet kind of things to put on like their items so that they can, at least if they lose it, it's like you have a an alert or something that'll like let you know. It'll beep when you get closer to it. So that's.
I need that. Let me write that down because I didn't need that.
I think I saw it in a movie. I think it was Along Came Polly. Yeah, that's really funny. Yeah, I totally get that. I feel like for me, I like writing things down, but like if I could have a a calendar, like a physical calendar, I would like that. But since I don't have one, I just put everything onto my Google Calendar, and it is insane. It is
Yeah,
so far enough.
I can ship you one. I have like a lot and they're brand new.
I won't say no.
So, yes, yes, I'll ship you one.
So, would you say, have you always kind of been a little like ADHD, or like what's the
Always,
energy? Oh, okay. What did
always.
it help going into the food industry? Because just watching like Hell's Kitchen, I feel like you're like everywhere and you got to be on top of everything.
See, that actually helps a lot. Growing up, like my family knew it because I was, gosh, 4 or 5 years old, and my battery would never run out. Like I've always been hyper up at like 5, 6 a.m. and like, all right, what are we going to do? And when I was a baby, like 1, 2 years old, I was like always like my mom was like, you sometimes were just like your tongue was like sticking out and you were panting, just wanting to do everything. You could not be still. And that happened still. So as I grew, like I was a dancer, like I went to gymnastics, dance, jazz, ballet, hip hop, all those things to drain my energy. And that's been great.
Hmm.
So I can sleep at night.
Hmm.
Um, but to focus, I need to have like a lot going on so I can focus on one thing. Right, like I need music, and I need, for example, at the kitchen, I need to be here is the oven's on, the fryer's on. I just dropped this, and then I have to chop that, and I have to plate. So having that multitask helps me. Like, all right, everything is busy. There's no gaps for distraction, so
Okay.
everything works out smooth. If you put me in a room silent when I have to send emails, for example, I am like, no, I
Okay.
can't.
That's interesting. Yeah, I've okay, so for me that seems really overwhelming when I have so many different things going on. I'm like, oh my God.
I
But
love
I've
it.
thought of it that way where it's like, yeah, there's no gaps for distraction. So it's just, okay, I have the tasks that I
Right.
have.
You're just going and going and going, and that keeps me going. Um, I don't really get tired. I'm a workaholic. also, so that doesn't help. Like I have times, after COVID, we start struggling with staff. So how do you manage to not shut down
Mhm.
and stay afloat? Just work through it. So I do some every now and then still have days where I work 18, 19 hours, and I love it. I mean, I'm fine. I would love to hang out in bed for a while, but and it's not an everyday thing. It's like 3 weeks straight. I've had it where it's like a week or so, and yeah, I then need a break. Like, I need to grab a drink and chill.
Mhm.
But just like staying busy and working around the clock helps me like focus on what I have. Um, so that's made easier the process of not getting distracted. I think I could be better about that. Yes, there's always room for improvement.
Mhm.
And I know that there's like so many techniques that I could use to be better at time management.
Mhm.
And I'm trying to work on it.
Got it.
So, how about you? What do you do to manage your time?
I'm also working on it. Um, I make a power list every day in my
Nice.
journal. So a power list is essentially like things that only you can do. So you cannot delegate these tasks out, and they are
Right.
tasks that will move you towards your goal. So it's not like just a to-do list. And it can be, it doesn't have to be a huge list. It can be 3 to 5 things if needed. Um, but I have that list every day. So I know, okay, I need to get at least these things done. Um, so yeah, I guess that's what I do. Let me see what else. Because I do that and then I have my to-do list. And I try to not do anything that is outside of those. Um, so I know that I get small things that start popping up because I do a lot of different things as well in regards to like the real estate field. Um, but I've learned, okay, it's not on the list, delegate it out, or learn to delegate it out, or it's going to be last on the list, and I can put it on there, but it's not, it wasn't on there at first, so that's
Right.
yeah. But yeah, at least with
I'm
me,
copying the power list.
powerless, powerless. Oh.
Hashtag power list. I love it.
So what's the energy been like going from the food industry to the real estate for you?
It has been a learning curve. Um, of course, it is. Gosh, I'm going to get vulnerable. It is intimidating, and I hate to say I'm intimidated, but I am. And I think that's stopped me a bit from doing more. Um, my background in business management, and I feel like I am a good leader. And as a consultant, I have a lot of the know how of managing and overseeing operations. Um, I can't I mean, not that I can't, I don't know all the technical part of it,
Mm-hmm.
right? When you go to the specifics of uh, property taxes and fees and investing, and it is, I'm learning that, right? So the projects that I have, we have some property in Mexico that as like development in historic areas, that my thought process is, yeah, you're trying to sell it over there at, let's say, 170,000 pesos. But when you trade $2, it's only 11,000. So my thought process is easy fix. I'm going to bring it in here and tell some people, hey, you have an extra 11K you want to invest? I got you, historic area, and that's great. And I'm like, I got this. We're going to make a presentation, and I got everything planned out. Great. And then someone told me, so you know that in order for someone that does not have a passport in like a Mexican passport, so any foreigners need a trust to buy property in Mexico. And I'm like, oh shoot. So I had everything booked and scheduled, and I had to I had to put on hold, get an attorney, find someone that would do that, interview with this person, and be like, well, so now can we offer this to our buyers as an option. You know, this is what you need, and we have this person that partners with us that can take care of this, and this is the cost for this paperwork and blah blah blah. So make it a bit easier. But yeah, that has been a huge learning curve.
Mhm.
I want to be like you and get into the Airbnb, and I just trying to find the way how, which is why I decided to shut down the other so I can focus on this. It's pretty much learning is a full-time job right now,
Yeah.
and I need hours to invest in education.
So with the Mexico one that you were working on right now, was that yours alone, or were you
No,
working with people?
yes. So I did not start it. My dad, his partner, have this project going on, and it's great. And I never paid attention to it when I lived there.
Mhm.
Um, I was trying to do my own thing and just build my own name and whatever. But then, my dad have had this very critical heart condition, and we were not sure if he was going to make it. I have three siblings, my mom, my grandparents, and my dad is the main provider for my household, or, his household. I don't live there anymore, so it's not my household, but I feel like it, you know, somehow is. And I knew my younger sister just went into college. My brother, he needs some extra help every now and then. He's special needs. So and my mom takes care of everyone. She is a realtor. She's very big into real estate, but recently she's stepped out a lot to dedicate to the family. And it sounded like it would relieve my daughter's guilt for not being home to take over, because I knew that I can do it. Right. I know that, yes, there's a huge learning curve, but I wanted my family to have that insurance that if anything happened, if my dad, let me knock on wood, if he wasn't with us, I got them. And that's my goal, that I can provide for everyone, make sure that everyone is taken care of, and that the family, they do get an income. I talked to my dad's partner without my dad knowing. I was like, hey, don't tell my daddy I talked to you, but if things go south, I got this and we're going to make it work. And I just need you to promise me that my family will be taken care of. So thankfully, he made it. He still needs to recover. And of course, his lifestyle has to change a lot if we want him to live longer. So I'm just, preparing to take care of everyone comfortably.
Man. Well, in case you go through anything, what has been the most helpful to me was just the communities that I've been a part of.
Yes. Well, I'm a part of yours.
Yeah.
I'm in the group. So I love it. Yes. That's been resourceful. And of course, we met at Vina's party, and I'm very involved in hers right now. There's actually a meetup in Austin next week that I will be going to. Um, and yeah, all the support and the great people, it changed me some. Whenever I arrived to Vina's party, you were the first one I talked to, right? I was like super intimidated because like we're in this room with like so many successful people with lots of experience and great achievements in the industry. And there's, Gabriela that has no clue of what is she doing there.
Mm.
And people ask you, so what's your portfolio? And I don't really have a portfolio build. So how are you managing this? And I'm like, I'm not really doing it. I mean, there's someone doing it. It's just not me. And I don't know what they do. So it was an eye opener. But at the same time, it felt great. Like, you know, we were just talking. I mean, when we met, I was like, hi, we're here hanging out. Awesome. So it has helped a lot and makes me feel comfortable asking questions, which I struggle with when I don't know something.
Yeah.
I like to always know it all.
Yeah.
And, everyone has questions. So that's great.
Yay. Yeah. And it just going back to like the whole, like when you just found out, oh, everybody that, they have to have a trust. Um, that's what the community's for. I like to double check everything. And oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I realize now that I've been in my mentorship for 2 years now. So I've been in real estate for 2 years. And
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
yeah, thank you. I have learned so much without having like really delved into it. So I know that I got to do that. Like, okay, I have to spend, like, I want to also put into my organizer how much I'm going to spend, like, learning things and going back to
Yes.
things where they're actually teaching like corporate structure or something. Because man, otherwise you just learn it through experience. And with me, I'd rather learn it partnering with other people that have done things like this before, so that I can like watch them and then have them
Yes.
everything to me.
See, there's a word that it wasn't used that as often in my vocabulary. And now, ever since I met you, like everyone, enter the industry, everyone uses it, and it's leverage. Like the power of leveraging everyone's experience, everyone's knowledge, and partnering with these people. There's people that have the knowledge, maybe I have the contact, and we can create a great partnership by sharing our strengths and making it work and leveraging the labor. And I just love that about the real estate world, right? It's not, especially when you go into like multifamily, the competition seems less aggressive.
Mhm.
It's like we're not against each other. We should partner and conquer more than what we could as an individual. So that has been great. Mindset, of course.
Mhm.
Um, I've always tried to keep a positive mindset, and I balance it a lot. Well, I am an emotional intelligence practitioner. That's how I orient my consulting, based on emotional intelligence and growth mindset. Um, so that is universal. I mean, that any industry you're at, you need it. Whenever you are in a leadership or decision making position, that's what you need. And you need both. Well, would be ideal to have both, to leverage everything that goes behind a business, because at the end of the day, this is a business model, right? So we need a growth mindset that will keep us motivated to want more, more, more. I have to, I want to achieve this. What am I going to do to pursue this goal? At the same time, the emotional intelligence balances that ambition that we have into understanding, well, how, like, the understanding, the management, and the empathy with others' emotions, right? Like, I want this, and I can work, in my case, I work 18, 19 hours a day, and I sleep nothing in 3 days to close a deal if I have to. But is it realistic for me to expect my staff to do that?
Mhm.
It isn't. So once you understand, like, I know that I can do it. I cannot force them to do it. And if I'm going to do it, what else is going on around that I need to be doing to manage this? Like, do I really, really have those 19 hours that I can dedicate to this, like nonstop? Or do I need something different? Or does someone do
Mhm.
any other partner, any other individual involved in the deal? How would they take me investing 19 hours in this?
Mhm.
Maybe I should invest 25, or maybe I should invest 10. So that is something very interesting that I love to always, that's what I teach, but that's also what I study on constantly and try to stay up to date in the new trends.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wow, man, that's so interesting. How did you? Was it because of your family and that situation that you decided to get into real estate, or? What
Yeah.
got you interested? Okay, got it. Oh,
I always like had I had like this spark wanting to do it, but I never thought I could.
mm, yes.
And if I don't think I'm going to succeed at first, or if I don't think I'm going to win, I don't do it.
Do it.
Like
Yeah.
I'm like an all or nothing. Like I take huge risks. I mean, I moved in here in the middle of COVID. I sold, I closed my business. I sold everything I had, and I bought a one-way ticket to San Antonio, Texas,
Okay.
in the middle of COVID, when everything was like bad. And I said, what else can happen? But I would hesitate in, buying a lottery ticket because I don't know if I win.
That makes sense. Wow. Yeah, I can very much see that competitive aspect in you. That, that makes it. If I'm not gonna win, oh, I don't know if I want to do it.
Yeah, but if I go all in.
Nice. Wow. So, um, a question that has kind of intrigued me then, because I
Mhm.
don't meet a lot of people that are in the food industry just in general. How many people invest in real estate, or do most people just, is it kind of like a W-2 where you're focused on the, your restaurant or, um, okay, actually, an addition onto that as well is how many people in the food industry as well, like you said, you have multiple business. How many would you estimate also have multiple businesses?
Probably like 60%.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
probably so. And if they don't have another business, they have a W-2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
many?
And that,
Go on.
go ahead. Sorry.
You go ahead.
Um, so yeah, that's like the interesting part. A lot of people, like they love the restaurant and they have something else going on, as a passive income. For someone that hasn't been in the industry for like 30 something years, a restaurant is not going to be a passive income. So a lot of people do have something else while they're doing the restaurant, or they have a W-2 while they're starting. And that is, I don't know how they do that. I could not. I've never been on W-2.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever will. I mean, right now, I would love to
Mhm.
have the experience. Like that was one of my things. Whenever you're in Mexico and everyone talks about people coming to work in the US and the American dream, and I wanted to come here and like probably work for Louis Vuitton or work for Chanel, and like, oh, I'm going to get my discounts and I can get my bags, and just the experience of working and getting a US salary.
Mhm.
I don't qualify for that, and I probably never will.
Mhm.
So I admire people that do it because it is, you work either 20 or 40 hours a week. You don't have that time, or you probably shouldn't, when you have a restaurant or another food business. So I don't know how they do that.
That seems like an insane thing to do. Yeah, I wonder how they how they manage their time.
Yeah.
And that's a really, really high number. I mean, I feel like I've kind of had a sense of like a lot more people in the food industry start having multiple businesses. Just it seems like it, like people have either their restaurants or um
Yeah.
whatever. But 60%, that's believable. Very high.
Yeah.
And how
Well, and sorry, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
no, I really want to hear what you were going to say.
Well, see, a lot of people do real estate as well. Um, at the end of the day, like to a lot of us, one of the goals is I'm going to purchase a building
Mm.
and have, my building where I don't have to be on a lease and I can do whatever I want. And maybe I can have another building that I can lease. Um, a lot of people are into real estate that are in the industry, or it's going to sound crazy, but they're attorneys.
Oh,
Yes.
wow. Okay. Not what I have thought. That's a
Yes.
lot of work.
Yes. Sometimes what they do is they keep their private practice and they are kind of like in a silent investor mode where they own the business. They
Mhm.
don't get involved in the decisions. They have someone that will manage it for them.
Okay.
Yeah. Of course, the challenge in that is that you don't see your ROI that quick
Mhm.
because you are paying a high maintenance employee.
Oh yeah.
And it's a very, very high salary on top of the rest of your payroll that you need just to keep in business.
Mhm.
So that is a challenge. I personally would never do that. I like to be involved
Mhm.
and very hands on in my businesses. Um, and yeah, I could not, like, financially, when you're starting, I thought, I don't think I would do that.
Mhm.
But for some people that they have enough money to invest in that and they don't mind seeing their ROI later, or they do it because it's a project they wanted to do since they were kids.
Mhm.
Yeah, it works.
Interesting. Cool. So what are your goals in this industry now? I guess what are your goals in general? Are you trying to further develop into the restaurant, or are you trying to split your focus on those?
Right now I have to split.
Mhm.
I need to learn more. So I do have to split. I have to invest more time in learning all the ins and outs about real estate. So that's one of my focuses. I want to do both. I don't think, and this is PTSD, the restaurant industry is like demanding and it's overwhelming. And like, yes, I have days where like I feel like I cannot do this. I just love it. And I love the chance I have to connect with my clients and my people and just like my regulars. And it's like, yes, I love this. I think it is one of my biggest passions in life. So I want to pursue it. I want, if, you know, I have a family and I have kids and or adopt, I want them to see me do it.
Mhm.
It means a lot. But on the other end, the more I learn more about real estate, the more I want to be involved and have that eventually more as a passive income as I focus in the other. That's a goal. Provide for my family, invest in my community. I want that. My goal, like my ultimate goal, is to leave a legacy, not just for my people, like the ones that have my blood, but for the ones that don't have it, that live where I live. And it happens to be Denton. This is where I'm growing my businesses and planting my roots. And I want to change as many lives as I can, for good, not for bad. That, and hopefully install that, or not install, but share that culture with other businesses. And, it would be great that in the future, businesses have that mindset of we're here to serve. Like, yes, we're here to grow. We need to make money. We need money. I mean, we need to pay our bills. We need to pay our staff. We need to live. We need to go out on vacation with our family. We need to, buy the things that we like because that's why we work for. But like you say, what do you do with what you have? With what how do you have to give? I think we all should. Not everyone does, and not everyone has to, but I think you don't have a sustainable or long lasting business if you're not giving back to your community.
Mhm. Yeah,
That's that's it. When you
man.
go after the money, it's not a solid foundation just to start a business to have money. You might as well just stay W-2.
Wow, that's powerful. That's very, very true. I've seen that not only in real estate but also in the nonprofit that my mom has as well. We just started a night market that's going to be happening every Thursday, and we
I
had the
love it.
we had the first one on Thursday, and one of the vendors had called my mom because they were trying to plan for something. I forgot what it was, but the vendor was saying, "Oh my gosh, thank you so much for inviting me, and I think we had even lent her a canopy that she needed or something. But she was saying like, "Wow, you guys are such like amazing, or such just nice." Like she really liked the vibe of because my mom's
Yeah.
coordinators. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. She's like, "You guys were great coordinators. Like I really liked your guys' vibe, and I really want to come back." It's like, boom, there you go. We provided a canopy. We provided a space for her to, like an additional space for her to sell whatever she was selling. I think it's candies, but it's like, all right, there you go. You give back, and then people want to keep working with you.
Yes, yes. It's all about, the relationships. Like, I was just like a bit out of context, but it goes back to it, I promise. There's this friend, he's one of my vendors. He does my signage. We met through the Chamber of Commerce.
Mhm.
We both serve as ambassadors and we became friends since. And he plays cards with my husband
Ah,
once or twice a week. And they have like this bromance going on. And on Sunday, my husband and I went to the card shop to pick up something that he forgot. And this friend was there. And he was telling me, man, I was sick this week and I was going to dress up for this like ribbon cuttings with the chamber. I was sick and I could not make it. And I'm like sad that I did not get to dress up. Um, for Wake Up Wednesday, there's like the first Wednesday of the month, there's like huge networking, like 100 something, 200 people. And he's like, I'm going to dress up. Do you want to dress up with me? And I'm like, well, I'm not going to let you do this alone. So I dressed up as Lola Bunny today, and it's those things like it was not business. I was not expecting to get business out of it or get anything off of him, but it's that friendship when you feel like, gosh, he could not do that. Well, I'll jump on the boat with you, right? And we were standing together the whole event because like we're the only two crazy people that dressed up for networking. Um, and it was so gratifying. And I got people that I did not know, that I haven't met, that came to me just to say, like, hey, what's your name? Like, I love the outfit. Who are you? I want to know who you are. Can I have your business card?
mhm.
And, in the talk, and you start strengthening those relationships. And people just came in like, you made my day. Thank you. You made me smile. And I'm like, oh, that's what I wanted. It's just so gratifying that it's not a transaction. I don't have transactional relationships with my vendors, with my associates, with my partners. I like to have a bond,
Mhm.
that whenever they need anything or whenever I need anything, I work with a lot of nonprofits and everyone needs donations or everyone needs sponsorships or in kind something,
Mhm.
and I know someone that could give it. And I'm like, hey, this nonprofit needs like a signage. Would you mind printing it out for them? Or hey, would you like to participate in the sip and shop as a vendor? Like, I'm a vendor myself. What would you like to be a part of it? And yeah, it becomes more meaningful doing business. Like, yes, we all get what we need. The nonprofit get their funds, we make money, we get exposure, we get a tax write-off, and we get that. Well, I personally get that satisfaction. That to me is fulfilling. Like, I feel like I'm not successful if I'm not giving.
Yeah.
Right. And I contemplate, whenever I do budget forecasting and all that, I contemplate my giving. Like, how much do I need to make? Right.
Mhm.
Let's say I need to make $10. So my cost of bills, living, overhead, blah, blah, blah is $7. Right. Then I have $2 to spend on myself. And then I have $1 to donate. So that's how I budget how much I need to make, to produce, to make happen, so I can have it all. And to me, having it all means giving. Like,
Mhm.
I will not, let's say I want something that I don't need. I wanted the Jimmy Choo glasses. And until I sponsored an event, I did not buy the glasses.
Mm. Nice.
Those are my conditions. It's like, I'm not going to buy like something out of the normal. Like, I'm not going to buy a designer item without giving.
Mhm.
Otherwise, I would just buy them on Amazon. But I don't want to buy them on Amazon. So I need to give before I feel like I deserve to get those glasses or
I'm,
that, whatever it might be.
I'm going to start implementing that because I kind of do that, but it's more of like, okay, well, usually with like a dessert or some sort of snack, or I'm like, I want that. Okay, but I need to deserve it. Let me either do like finish whatever work I have on my plate, or like exercise and like do these certain things, and then but I really like that where it's okay, if I want this, I want to be giving back first. So it's the same. Oh,
Well, you can share desserts, you can take brownies to the nonprofit.
yes.
See, that's something like I felt also more meaningful. When you talk about giving, the in kind, like it's not the same if I give a nonprofit, let's say $50 or $100,
Mhm.
but with those $100, what can I do? That it's not like, I can buy $100 in product, and how much would it cost them to purchase that, or how much would it cost them to have someone make it? And I buy $100 in product, and I create something that probably will be $400 or $500 worth.
Mhm.
So it is for them a bit more gratified, like a bit more researchful. They can stretch that out more than just giving 100, for
Yeah.
example. So I've been doing that, and then I keep track of that, and at the end of the quarter of the year, I check. All right, so we gave out, let's say, we invested a total of 500 this quarter.
Mhm.
That was valued at 2,000.
Mhm.
And at the end of the year, like last year, between silent auction items and in-kind donations and volunteering and monetary donations, I closed the year at almost $10,000.
Wow.
And I felt like, gosh, how did I do this? You know, and it felt great. But it helped to fluff up that amount or that number, that extra mile you go for whoever, whether it's a nonprofit, whether it's a client or a friend that like, hey, I have this event and I'm like a bit short on cash flow. Do you think there's something you can do? I got you. Because the day I need it, someone will, and some people have. And that's just, again, it's part of the greatness of being involved in a community.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I think for me growing up, I was an only child. Like I was an only child. Though my mom would take in a lot of my cousins growing up. So it was kind of like I grew up an only child, kind of not. But I was always the youngest. So I feel like I would get out of a lot of things. Like either, oh, well, this is my toy, or, oh, I was a
Right.
little too young to really do chores, or like vacuum or wash the dishes or something. Like they couldn't trust me just in case I wasn't strong enough or whatever. So I got really used to people just doing things for me. And so now that I'm an adult, and at least in this field, it's like, okay, yeah, everything's about reciprocity. And so that's what I'm trying to implement in my personal life as well. So oh my gosh, what's really funny is when I first started with the Airbnb, the first one I got was, I think it's like only 20 minutes away from me, but it's an Airbnb arbitrage. So I rented out the home and I'm subletting it and doing Airbnb out of it. And so I had no budget for it. I brought in a partner to pay for I think down payment, or not the down payment, for the security deposit and the first month's rent. And then, and we're just trying to figure it out when it came to furnishing it. So me and my aunt and my family friend and my mom, for like 2 days straight, we rented a U-Haul and just drove everywhere around LA, Hollywood, anywhere that had furniture for free that we saw, we grabbed it. And I was like, I'll treat you guys to dinner, to lunch. I don't care. And they're like, yeah, sure. But they never mention it. So I really need to be proactive. I'm like, okay, we're going, you're getting free food. Because man, we furnished the whole place. And I think it
I
was,
love it.
yeah, less than $500 to furnish an entire 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment or house. Yeah, it was insane.
After we finish this, I'm going to go get a U-Haul
There we go.
and drive around and get furniture.
Facebook Marketplace.
Girl, that's an inspiration. I love that.
Yeah, they're my ride or dies. They're awesome. I love them.
Can
So
I can I can I fly them over? Can I fly you guys over and do that?
I'm down. Let me know. I need to visit more places. I've gone to Dallas like 4 times this year, so I've been trying to go to Austin and Houston, and I'll put San Antonio on the list. I'll do it.
Well, let me know anytime. I'm around. I used to live when I first moved to Texas. I was in San Antonio, and I loved it.
Yeah, I'm excited. Anyways, yeah, if you get an Airbnb and if you're like trying to do it minimally, I'll do my best to help. We'll see if I fly out there to Denton.
I will. I will. Now you just gave me an idea.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, like how you were mentioning, you're interested in the Airbnbs. Also, feel free to reach out. I have some knowledge in the field. I've been managing, or I started with 3 last year, and then brought like 12 more on this year, and then downsized again because it was a little crazy. But I have a lot of experiences that I'd love to share.
Oh, I would love that. Thank you. Well,
Yeah,
anything I can do for you as well, let me know.
such a go giver. Well, thank you so much, Gabriela. I'm so glad that we got to talk a little more. You were so,
Me too. I'm not. You are.
I don't
I'm
know.
just hyper. Like I tell people, I'm just like super ADHD and I'm not on medication. That's it. And I'm a workaholic.
A little bit. Hey,
They
but
should have like, like they have AA, like a WA, AW. That should be it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's difficult. That's really difficult, especially with you. Like, I feel like with real estate, if you're just in real estate, it's like, okay, you can be much more. You can hire virtual assistants and a lot, like delegate a lot of stuff. But I have no idea how the food industry is, how the business industry is. I don't know how it is to be like a multiple business owner outside of real estate. So that seems crazy.
It is. It is. There's a lot learning. And, like to me, at least in the food industry, I like my food, right? I have very high standards of how I want to deliver.
Mhm.
So I know that I have to, every so often, most of the time, or as much as I can be there to keep that. And again, it's very community oriented. So when I'm not there, people are like, "Where's Chef Gabriela? Where's Chef Gabriela?" Like I'm somewhere like, "Hey, Chef, you cater this. This is great." Like I like that. I enjoy it, and I know that my clients like to see me there as well. It does make a difference when I cater an event and I drop off than when I cater and I'm there serving. They're like, "Oh gosh," and I love it. So that it has to happen to some extent. Like of course eventually um I will have to not be as much, but while I can, as long as I can, I like to do that.
Good luck. You remind me so much of my mom with the nonprofit. All of that, all of the like, giving back and the relationships and being there because she's very much a people person as well. And like we have a boutique, so everybody that comes into the boutique are always like, "Oh, is Maribel here? Is Maribel here?" And I'm like, "No, I'm so sorry. She's at an event." I'm like, "Ah, okay, next time." But they
I'll
all,
come next time.
yep, yay, man.
Well,
Well,
thank you for this. We should definitely continue this over a glass of wine after.
I love it. I really do want to travel more, so I'll make a reason to
I
fly
have
out.
I have a room ready for you whenever you're here.
Cool. Good to know. Man, well,
Yeah.
thank you so much. Where can people find you? Instagram, YouTube.
Um, yes, I'm like really bad about social media. It's one of my weaknesses or, things I can work on. And I've been trying to build up a social media presence. So, yes, you can find me on Instagram, Chef Gabriela Assemblage, all together. I think I'm more active there than on Facebook. Facebook is the same, Chef Gabriela Assemblage. Um, my email, I respond emails.
Perfect.
Gabriela at chefgabrielaassemblage.com. And yeah.
Perfect. Then I'll go
But
ahead and.
Instagram. I want to grow that following. I
Oh man, it is
can
difficult.
share more. I share a lot of stories and like the day by day. So yes, Instagram will probably be the best way to see what I'm up to all the time.
Yeah. And all you have to do, record like 5 seconds of whatever you're doing every day. So like if you move on to a task, 5 seconds, okay, and then just throw it all together on CapCut and then post it.
Yes.
There you go. That's what I'm doing.
Copied.
God bless. Wait, since I'm doing that, let me record this for 5 seconds. Haha. Are you ready? Say hi to the camera. Beautiful. 1, 2, 3. Hello. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, everybody. Gabriela is amazing. Obviously, you see how much she puts into the relationships that she builds and how just much integrity and care it seems like she has. So super
Thank
excited
you.
to have had you. I appreciate you, and I'm really looking forward to see where you go.
Yes. We'll chat next time. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.